Hello, good morning. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a Dancing with the Stars update. Jenn Tran sent home. Bachelorette Jenn no longer dancing on Dancing with the Stars. A tearful goodbye. I'm going to share several clips. She was clearly shocked, and she should be. She scored a 10 last night. It is leaving many people asking about the judges' inconsistency and how could the Bachelor Nation fan base let this happen. And to be quite fair, that's who you have to blame, because Bachelor Joey went through with very similar scores. And, why didn't people vote for Jenn? That's the question. She was very strong, probably her strongest dance, and we're going to get into it. So I'm going to share several clips of what she had to say, the tearful goodbye. Yesterday, we made a video about possible relationship between her and Sasha. There is a lot of drama in the Dancing with the Stars world. If you want all of the drama, I'm prepared to share it with you on the podcast. So scan that QR code. We've got, we have dancers getting divorced and and dating each other. It's a real cesspool of the sequin variety. You're gonna love it. So scan that QR code. Also, all of Love Is Blind recap on the podcast. There's a new reunion tonight. So we'll have all of that right there. The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. All right. So before we get into this, let's just go back to where we were at. We had everyone from all the big guns were there. Hold on one second here. I don't want the audio. We had Caitlin Bristow was sharing the text Gen 10X. I don't understand what could have been the problem. One of my issues, though, with this scoring system is you have to spell the name correctly. Steven spells his name with a PH. Jen spells it with two N's. There's just certain names that might not, I wonder if there's, again, it's not, we're not voting for the president, although you should next Tuesday or before, vote early. But my point being is, I don't know, was it, Joey, was it easier to vote for Joey than Jen? 2 4-letter names that start with J. My guess is she just didn't have as much popularity as Joey, which again, look at whatever factors you want, but that's probably the truth. Joey's got, let's just see right now, how big is Joey's audience? Joey's got to be pushing on 1 million, right? So that's the problem that I have with a lot of this, is that half the votes are the audience score. Yeah, 889,000. She's at 500,000 and he's working his way up to 1 million. So that's where it's at. Plus, he's also got a lot of momentum because I think he's a lot better than people thought he would be. Jen wasn't the only one who got robbed. We had Chandler Kinney. This is her dance partner. She's flawless. She's a flawless dancer. She hasn't missed a mark in this competition. And Carrie-Ann Inaba didn't give her a 10. Carrie-Ann was handing out 10s like it was Halloween, but she didn't give it to Chandler McKinney, which left people really upset. Someone commented this: I'm normally a lurker, but tonight Carrie-Ann Inaba really got on my nerves. Her endless, unnecessary beef with the women on the show is so noticeable. I'm tired and sick of the way they're treating every single episode. Carrie-Ann has lost all credibility. She's admitted to being more critical of Viennese waltz and tango than contemporary. Make it make sense. All the male dancers had issues and mistakes in their dances tonight, which is fine, but she gave them all 10s regardless. Meanwhile, she struggles to even give a compliment to the women whose dances were objectively better this week. I really want to know what was going through her head to think, let's just give the male dancers a 10 just for trying, but make the women who are constantly improving and delivering near perfect performances earn a 9. I'm tired of this. I feel so sorry for Jen, who put in the effort and did an excellent job. I'm sorry for Chandler, who's been nitpicked every single week by this woman, and I'm sorry for Ilona, who despite never getting 10s, rarely gets constructive feedback. It's just, here's a point off just because. Do better, Dancing with the Stars. I have to say, from a scientific perspective, it's really hard to make this about gender, because how a male celebrity does versus a female celebrity is kind of objective, because the professional in a lot of these dancers, the male's supposed to lead. So therefore, is it easier for a female celebrity to do well because they have a male professional leading? I don't know. I'm just trying to look into this and milk time off the clock here. I don't know. But I will say, Chandler is the best dancer, hands down, and Carrie-Ann's been very tough. But, there's 3 judges. They each can score between 1 to 10 or whatever. I don't think we've ever seen below like a 3 or a 4. So this is the first week they start doling out 10s. Carrie Ann gives a 9, but the other two judges give a 10. Part of me wonders if they talk a little bit beforehand to say, well, we're not ready to give a perfect 33 10s. You know, they try to build up those perfect scores to like the last episodes, because you can't just start giving out 10s in week 1. So my thought is, well, maybe she knew the other judges would give a 10, so she didn't. But either way, Carrie Ann gave Jenn Tran a 10. Charity responded, nothing ever makes sense. I'm tired. And it's like, all right, yeah, I get it. Nothing does make sense. Some people get stiffed. I mean, Alona had the worst score, right? 24, and she stuck around. There was a few weeks where Dwight Howard was not looking good. He's still around. You know, you're only as good as your latest dance, and sometimes audiences will sleep on a contestant. They go, oh, they were so good. And it's almost like a bystander syndrome. Oh, they were so good, I don't need to even need to vote. And of course, that's not the way to think. And by the way, yeah, Alona's getting a lot of praise. It doesn't have to be one versus the other. She's having her moment here. Look at her in People. Alona, America's sweetheart, having a Hollywood moment. I'll cover more of this on the Rush Hour podcast, but you just get to see, you know, I mean, everyone's got their story they're telling. Jen's been, you know, in the Bachelor world now for several months as she had her Bachelorette season and she's having her moment. So good on her for making it this far. Good on her for even competing at all, but also bittersweet. Here's what she had to say.
I mean, hello, you scored a 10. You danced to Olivia Rodrigo.
I mean, the song was about vampires, but it's really about men sucking, so I can definitely relate to that one.
Looking at you, Devin, you sucking vampire.
I mean, I really call it fate. Like, I wasn't supposed to be here, and to have the experience that I've had and to also cross paths with this one, like, it's really, truly just been so incredible, and I couldn't be more grateful.
I'm so proud of her because she worked so hard week in, week out. I'm just so grateful that I got to teach this incredible person, and I'm so proud of her.
You're making me ugly cry.
Where does this relationship go from here? What was that little giggle?
I didn't want her journey to be about relationships or this or that. I wanted her to be in this for the dancing, and we'll see, you know. No, not we'll see the relation, but we're always working. So now we have some time off.
There it is. Now, he goes, we'll see. Not the relationship, but of course, yesterday we shared a conspiracy video where she was spotted the morning after a dinner date she had with Sasha in the same outfit. Could it be that she wore the same outfit the next day, or was she, extending that date to the next morning? So I'm going to share again another thing she said here, but also Sasha. He's no stranger to romance on the ballroom floor. Sasha, okay, hold on. We got two stories. Sasha Farber was married to Emma Slater. They finalized their divorce earlier this year. He was awarded a $2.6 million home. I gotta be honest, I didn't think these dancers could afford a $2.6 million home. Now, he's been on the show for a while, but good on him. And by the way, he's a little bit older. That's fine. By the way, speaking of which, we have a voicemail line, and we have people that call in. We just reinvented the voicemail line. You can call in. I got the number here, 401-558-7841. But speaking of this romance, Mimi called in from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Dave, it's Mimi. And I'm calling because I'm listening to your podcast about Jen dating Sasha, and I don't want to see that. She's in her 20s, and he's 40. So I'm very disappointed, and I hope they don't. She needs to go with Jonathan. Bye.
Mimi goes, Jen needs to go with Jonathan. Well, let's get Jen on the line. Jen, did you hear that? So either way, yeah. Look, Sasha's 40, Jen's 25. When you look at age difference, someone brought it up that Nick Viall is actually closer in age to Joan Vassos than he is to his wife. Look, hey, age differences happen. What are you going to do? So there it was. They went through this divorce. Right here. And now she is dating, I guess, canoodling with pro Alan Burstyn, who, by the way, I think is the one that Caitlin Bristow had beef with. Either way, the ballroom floor, the hardwood floor, is full of a lot of dancing and horizontal mamboing. The mambo number 5. So that's where they're at. Okay, let's go to a clip from my Instagram channel, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. We have a new Instagram, guys. It's right here, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. 3,400 followers. Thank you guys so much for all the new follows. I'm leaving, different reels and thoughts. It's actually different than the podcast. It's like some stuff's from the podcast and some is like, after I record the podcast, I'll then make a reel and I'll share some additional information. So you can go check out all of that right there. I would really appreciate your support if you could just comment on everything and really help this algorithm. But here is a clip I was sharing from ABC's Good Morning America.
Dancer there, meet her, and she really made coming to work so easy. And the in-betweens of like not work, it's like when we finish work, I was like, are you hungry? She'd be like, I'm starving, or I'm like, I'm so hungry. So we'd go out, we would get food. It was just nice to be normal. Are you crying?
What's the most special thing about Sasha to you, Jen?
She's broken down.
I don't know. Can you ask somebody else a question?
Lucky that I got to.
So she says, can you ask somebody else a question? Look, very sweet, very authentic. It's like summer camp. They spend every day working towards creative goals. I mean, this is why everybody loves Dancing with the Stars when they do it. You burn a bunch of energy, you feel good, you're releasing all those happy endorphins and, the dopamine rush of competing, and you do something hard. Let this be a reminder to all of us out there that we are happier when we are challenging ourselves, whether it be creatively or goal setting or running every day. When you challenge yourself to goals, you are happier. You're building that self-worth. You're working towards a common thing. And that's one of the issues we have in society is for a lot of people, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, society's gotten so dang easy. Our information comes right to our phone. We're just kind of fed foie gras, jammed down our throats, all of the content we can receive. Go out there and regain some control and dance, baby, like nobody is watching. You can take a local dance class, or you could just go outside and dance. You could put on music and just start bebopping, doing whatever the hell you want. And I hope Jen continues to do that. What is next for her is the question. If I'm her, you do the gamut. You try to get on Traders. You try to do special forces. You try to just keep on building your following. Why? Because there's a hell of a lot more money to be made there. And I know people will say, yeah, but she's in school and a lot of people value their education. I get that. I totally get that. I understand. Whatever she does will be happy for her. But I say, if you're worried that audiences are going to be upset with you if you don't go back to school, tell them to go F off. Who cares? Do whatever you want. That's what I'm here to say. Do whatever you want. All right, folks, I got more content coming your way. I'll be doing whatever I want, which is making podcasts all day, every day. Scan that QR code. We'll see you there. Thanks for the phone call, Mimi. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.